look back, you'll see that the speed in which we can deliver better applications has dramatically improved.
Making promises is easy. Keeping a commitment to customers, that's different.
Today in SaaS, an extremely fast cycle.
It means taking the long view, investing, knowing that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, delivering consistently.
So what have we done? We've added a host of machine learning applications. On a go-forward basis, this applies to everything. We mean everything.
Year after year.
Every year, you're going to see us staying contemporary with another brand new user interface.
Helping organizations in every part of the world to run all kinds of businesses with new solutions.
Where's our big investments going into the future?
Giving customers confidence.
In a couple years, we're going to be talking about who knows what. And that's sort of the point.
That we'll keep our commitment so that as you move your business into the future,
we are most focused on speed. Speed of innovation and speed of change.
Know that we are keeping pace, delivering, leading.
We've in fact done away with upgrades, giving you continuous quarterly updates forever. This is set up for, it's a foundational setup for forever. And so as we're in this model now, whether we're talking about something else in 2 years or a year and a half other than machine learning, the same rapid adoption of technology is in place, and our customers in cloud are ready to take advantage of that, whatever that may be.
Please welcome Steve Miranda.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So what we're going to cover today is we're really going to focus on our customers. I just want to start off by giving a big thank you to our customers, both our traditional on-premise customers and our cloud customers. And the big focus of today is going to be showcasing the customer success and having customers hear from other customers about that success going forward. Now, in heart of hearts, I'm still a developer. They don't let me touch code anymore, but I like to think of myself as a developer still. So we like to show cool new features as well. We're going to show you some cool new feature functions as far as what's coming as well, but keep the focus on the customers. Now, let me give you a general outline of how we're going to cover this. The first part is let me kind of tell you what I hear from every customer prospect that I speak to as far as the different business pressures and what's leading us to our cloud-based solutions. Next, we're going to drill into what specifically we think we bring as Oracle to differentiate ourselves, to deliver value to you so that you can succeed by running our business applications in the cloud. And then finally, we'll conclude on why we feel stronger than ever the time is now to move. The readiness of our cloud application for each and every one of our customers, big or small, public sector or commercial, global, multinational, or domestic, supply chain, HR, manufacturing, financials, CX, we are ready to run your business very successfully in the cloud, and we're going to go through that going forward. So to start, when I'm speaking with customers, what is the common theme? And though it takes different flavors, different shapes and sizes depending on the customer base, the consistent thread and consistent theme is all about business change. And sometimes you hear this where a customer is being disrupted in their business. Sometimes a customer has an opportunity to disrupt the business. Sometimes the pressure of all of those aspects focus that means that the organization has to become much more efficient in the way they operate. Or it means they have to incorporate M&As in a much different way than they had before going forward. But all of it adds up to now is a time where organizations from business pressures need to adopt modern technology with a much more agile approach and much more speed of innovation. Oracle ourselves is just one small example. We've transformed from a traditional software company to a SaaS or a services company. That means we have subscriptions instead of on-premise license. That means we interact with our customers in a much different way. We also did some M&As. We acquired an organization from Micros. That meant our manufacturing organization had to do from large assemble-to-order manufacturing to really point-of-sale devices that we had to manufacture. Substantial business change and transformation meant that we needed an agile, modern cloud platform to operate our own business on. The next universal theme of business pressure is technology change. whether this is more pervasive mobile, and I can just see that with all the photographs and the iPads and the tablets in the audience right now, pervasiveness of social media, pervasiveness of new ways to communicate, whether that's Slack or SMS or any other new kind of capability. And the need to incorporate that pervasiveness in the way you do interact with technologies in your everyday lives and bringing that to your business platform to make you more efficient, to make you more modern for your employees, to have the same platform for your customers. All these business pressures add up. And organization after organization I speak to as customers need to move to a faster, more modern, agile business platform. Now, the common theme in this presentation is going to be, as a ratio of time to me speaking, this is going to be my best case scenario. I'm going to speak less in this keynote than ever before. And so to hear more about evolving business pressures and a real-world example, it's my pleasure to welcome on stage David Hostadius from Hearst Corporation. And while David joins us on stage, please enjoy a video telling you a little bit more about Hearst. Thanks for joining us, David. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
I really love that Hearst Tower, the building. It's quite beautiful.
It's a beautiful tower.
Yeah. So maybe tell us, I think people saw a little bit from the video, but Hearst is a very, very diverse organization. Can you give us the backdrop of Hearst, your role and responsibilities there, and what you do?
Sure. So I am the Senior Vice President of Finance Operations, so I'm responsible for our service center and the transactional activities in finance across the different companies. And as you could tell on the video, we have a lot of companies. In fact, we have more than 360 companies. Some of the brands are probably familiar to you guys in the magazine space and the newspaper space. If you haven't already, I would encourage you guys to go and buy the San Francisco Chronicle every day this week. And if you're at it, put a classified ad in there. That will be all good. Some of the brands that you may be less familiar with is in what we call business media, Hearst Health and Fitch Ratings in the financial services industry, and also we have transportation assets. And then, of course, at the end, you saw some of the cable networks that we have stakes in, like A&E, Lifetime, History Channel, of course, ESPN.
So we talk a lot about technology and change. I talked about the theme. One was business change, one's technology change. Maybe you give us a flavor, especially a number of your areas changing substantially. You being a disruptor, being disrupted. How does technology affect the everyday lives at Hearst?
Yeah, you had the slide up with disruption, and I think if you take a step back and you look at the 360 businesses, we really have a consumer business and a B2B business, and they're impacted very differently in terms of what's happening today. On the consumer side, I don't think that anybody in this room would be surprised that says, the business model in media is challenging these days. Yeah. People read less newspapers, even though everybody in here is going to read the Chronicle tomorrow. People read less magazines, they watch less television. So the advertising-driven models are more challenging. So on our side, what our business groups are doing is adapting the offerings to digital. And as you look at digital revenue growing, that is certainly making that pivot very quickly. On the B2B side, things are a little bit different. It's not an advertising-driven business or set of businesses. It's very much a subscription business. So those businesses are growing actually quite rapidly and is in a very different environment than the consumer businesses.
Yeah, so massive change technology-wise, literally changing every part of your business. You also mentioned a couple times that 360 businesses. Now, a lot of that is through M&A. So maybe give us a flavor at Hearst, your view on best practices towards M&A and how you really realize the value of the combined organization.
Sure. You look at 360 businesses, and there's probably nobody that wakes up and says, we're going to create 360 businesses. It has to happen by acquisition. And we made a lot of acquisitions historically, and we continue to make a lot of acquisitions. And I think that there's kind of two different flavors. If you look at the more mature media businesses like newspapers and magazines, really the name of the game is consolidation. And it's a matter of bringing somebody in, onboarding them quickly, and getting some synergies and efficiencies on the back end. On the other growth businesses, it's a little bit of a different story. And historically, we have acquired a lot of businesses, and we have not necessarily wanted to, what I call, suffocate them with policy, procedure, administrivia from the mothership. They were successful businesses before we bought them, and we want them to continue to be successful. So there's a bit of a judgment call on that side on how quickly we integrate them. We announced just the other day that our transportation business just bought a marketplace from Boeing for spare parts for aircraft maintenance. And as we're looking at that acquisition, part of it is kind of developing the playbook of what's the right pace to bring these businesses in.
Okay. Now, you've done a big part of your career on doing digital transformations before Hearst and now with Hearst. Maybe tell us some of the challenges you need to address at Hearst, and how are you taking those on, and how is it taking place at Hearst? Yeah, it's interesting that the disruption we talked about happened very quickly and impacted the consumer businesses very quickly. What's taken longer for us is the impact of digital on our internal processes and operations. And some of you guys may be surprised, but I think describing where we came from, I think will help understand some of these challenges. We literally had a 25-year-old green screen AS400-based application. I didn't know that they still existed, but Chris Mardani, who runs our service center, is sitting out here somewhere. He gave me a demo, and in fact, there are green screens out there. So the green screen, we had many charts of accounts, little standardization. And because we had, kind of limited, we're in 1990s technologies, the businesses still needed solutions. So what do? You start building point solutions to surround the enterprise capabilities, which makes it very difficult when you look at our kind of consolidated results. There's a lot of mappings and translations and derivations between transactional systems and our reporting systems. So access to the right level of information and how do you measure some of these businesses was difficult. The other side, which is maybe more obvious, is we were concerned about how many people on the planet still actually knew how to support our old environment. So if it were to fall over, we were not quite sure that we had the resources available to avoid a long outage. So it was time for a change. So you had huge business transformation across a bunch of businesses, lots of M&A that you need to incorporate, get efficiencies from, 1990s-ish technology, maybe 80s, running those businesses. How did you address those businesses?
So it kind of came to a head where if you looked at our kind of application landscape, there was kind of a myriad of different things, and the concern about the stability of our old environment. So we launched what we called Project Unify. And what Unify, it's actually, I think it's the largest corporate initiative in our history. And our vision was to get to a current platform, to have standard best practices, an environment where we had process leaders that really harmonized and simplified across the different businesses for finance, HR, and also payroll. So we selected Oracle Cloud, Cloud ERP, Cloud HCM, and I think just about all of the Cloud EPM modules. And this program really involved ripping the Band-Aids off into an infrastructure and set of processes that had existed in the company for 25 years. We launched in 2016. We spent 2017, we went live with a pilot, then went live with HR. And then about 15 months after we executed the agreement with Oracle, we went live for our North America businesses on Cloud ERP.
Yep. So to give you a sense, I talked about business challenges. Hearst had a lot of those business challenges literally being transformed, disrupted, disrupted by other people. You had a ton of M&A acquisitions, needed to become more efficient. Old platform with a lot of the challenges there. Live financials, EPM, HR, I think, and then rolling out learning and just continue to expand.
Yep.
Great.
We have I tell people we're the kind of the poster child for Oracle's cloud back office processes, if you will.
That's right. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Great. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. So yeah, they very much are a poster child, and we're very thankful to have David join us and have Hearst on stage. Again, I hope you get thematically same type of problems, different flavors of where the disruption's coming from, different flavors of what the problems with the legacy systems are, different pressures on becoming more efficient, in their case M&A, but the solution and having a single holistic SaaS solution that we can deliver on. And he talked about the phased go live in SaaS. They didn't do it big bang. They did this globally, but incrementally. Finance, then HR, now learning, looking at recruiting, and still going forward. And we have a fantastic relationship with development and the entire Oracle with Hearst just expanding. So that's sort of the backdrop of this common theme. Now, drilling in a little bit then, when you look at Oracle, what are the things that I think you have to keep in mind for Oracle applications? What differentiates us in SaaS? And here we're going to cover, we feel strongly we have the most complete solution on the market for SaaS. End-to-end HR, finance, CRM, supply chain manufacturing. We have the best-in-class technology, which we're going to not only talk about, we're going to more importantly show you. The speed of innovation that we're giving with the SaaS model to our customers, hundreds of features every quarter delivered to the customer base, which what enables phased rollouts like the one you heard about Hearst. Focus on customer first, really having that customer service and then working very tightly with organizations as they transform, and modern CX. So we're going to show you really all parts of this going forward. Let me first start off by the complete suite of applications. Why is this important? Well, it's important because there's a lot of business process flows which to effectively run your business, you need end-to-end transformation. It saves you money. It saves you cost in terms of data integration. It has your data preserved for data integration. So it eliminates all these redundant silos of information to allowing you to focus, as we are focusing, on customer first. And as to go showcase an example of that customer first and the benefits of that integration, it's my pleasure to welcome on stage Rob Tarkoff, who leads our CX organization. And Rob's going to talk you through end-to-end business flows around CX and some of our great new announcements in CX. Rob?
Thanks, Steve. Thank you. All right. It's great to talk about how CX now is not just a front office issue. More and more, all the workflows around CX, whether it's sales, service, or marketing, are connected to back-end processes. Sales, service, and marketing have to be connected to the assets, the people, and the policies to truly transform your organization. These end-to-end flows are no more apparent than in asset-based businesses. We've all had that experience of the cable guy who says he's going to show up between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. But don't worry, he shows up at 1:15 and he doesn't have the part, so it didn't matter anyway. In these kind of businesses and in the experience economy, this kind of service can really blacklist you with customers forever. So we have developed solutions like Service Logistics, which tie together the service experience, the field technician who you can track in their journey to come visit you, and the assets in your supply chain management system. This enables you to not only track the service delivery, but it allows manufacturing to talk to sales, and it allows supply chain to be coordinated with a customer experience. With Oracle, your CX applications will no longer be trapped by data that sits in different silos. HR will be able to send data to sales applications that can update sales performance of the reps that you care about. Marketing, sales, and service will be connected to your financials so that you can know at any one time how to orchestrate these flows between the front office and the back office. In 2018, we acquired a company called DataFox. DataFox enriches all your workflows with real-time firmographic data that it pulls from public sources, from public companies and private companies, scouring over 50,000 different digital pieces of information every 30 minutes. There are millions of company profiles that DataFox is tracking and constantly updating in the context of your application. 5.6 million websites per month, which are critical for you figuring out in a sales context, should I prioritize that account? In a marketing campaign, what new messages do I need to change or alter to make sure I'm delivering exactly what that account needs based upon corporate events that have happened? And in the consumer world, our Oracle Data Cloud has the richest third-party data marketplace, which we're constantly infusing into our applications, not only to help you resolve identity about unknown users becoming known users, but also to help you develop more context so you can personalize your messages earlier in the journey, rather than just waiting till it's too late for you to surprise and delight your customers. We're excited to announce at this OpenWorld that we have our first live customers who are on our CX Unity product. CX Unity is not just a CDP. That's like calling a Ferrari a car. It is a system for unifying transactional, demographic, and behavioral data in one source, ingesting billions of data points, normalizing, deduping, cleansing that data so that you can resolve to accurate, real-time, contextual profiles, and using that to enrich your customer experience. We're very excited about this offering, and we're very excited about the customers that we're working with who we will showcase to you at this OpenWorld. It is the most robust behavioral system that Oracle has ever had, and it is really going to bring unique insights into many of the blind spots that you face as CX professionals trying to deliver great service, personalized messages, or improved processes and productivity to your salespeople. Nowhere are companies seeing a complex sales process more than in B2B selling, where you involve dealerships. Think about today, when somebody shops for a car, they have perfect information about the vehicle, and so they have a different expectation about what they expect their dealer to be. It should be a trusted advisor, somebody who's an expert, somebody who's giving me more than just basic information about the product and service. So we're very excited to bring up on stage Salvatore Ancoretti, who's the head of customer marketing for Ferrari, to tell us a little bit about Ferrari's journey around customer intelligence and what they're doing today to make that experience even better for their customers. But first, we're going to play a video. Okay, Salvatore, CX had the coolest video in all of OpenWorld. Thank you. So before I start, I just have to say that I had to wrestle with my colleague Ronda Yang for this position because he's been your executive sponsor and he owns a Ferrari. I do not. He has 1 kid, I have 3. So I figured out why that is. And my 3 are going to college.
But I have to say, Rob, don't stop dreaming first.
Thank you.
Second, we have even the car that can fit for 3 babies. Therefore, no problem
okay.
at all.
Okay, that's great. I'll check with my wife on that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so Salvatore, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your role, and about the company. Everyone knows Ferrari. It's an iconic brand. Great racing team, amazing press. You won the Best Brand Award in 2014. Tell us what things people, may not know.
So first of all, myself, I'm in Ferrari since 11 years, so it's quite a long period. And I had several experience on product marketing on the field, operational marketing in China. I was based for 4 years. And then on customer marketing, my current role. Customer marketing is simply the experience, customer experience. Because we are recognized worldwide as the pinnacle of excellence. We are a pinnacle of made in Italy. Everybody knows about Ferrari. So probably our founder 70 years ago was not imagining that after 70 years, such a brand could have a meaning for many, many people around the world. So it's dreams that is starting from the beginning of our early age. And so always the first dream, when we want to start to experience, to be behind the wheel, the steering wheel of a car, we imagine to own a Ferrari. But Ferrari DNA is on racing. So we were born as a racing team. And then we are the only manufacturer that attended all the 70 GP championship worldwide. So next year, we are going to celebrate 1,000 races. As many of you know, we won the last 2 with Leclerc, the last one in Monza. So we are looking forward to the next GP in Singapore.
That's great. By the way, when you say Ferrari and I say Ferrari, I can tell you who says it better. But well, so we know Ferrari's an iconic brand. You have a lot of repeat purchasers, people who know the brand well. How do you maintain the premier exclusive status of the brand? I mean, that's a tough area. There's lots of brands fighting for that few that are going to get to be exclusive. What do you do to maintain that?
The tradition and the innovation of our cars, the extremely appealing performances and driving emotion can grant us the exclusivity right. What means exclusivity for Ferrari? First of all, to produce always 1 car less than what the market is requesting. So this is the first secret. It's the ability to say no sometimes. Because if you produce a limited series, or not. There is always someone that we have to say no, unfortunately. Or there is the exclusivity, is even the ability to wait for 24 months the delivery of your car. So it's not in a market that is growing and is becoming fast. The ability to wait is still probably a property of few brands in the world.
So you have to be in a position where you're telling people no, where you're telling them to wait, so they want the car that much more, and you're using that as a way to develop exclusivity and fulfill their dreams. What does it look like to fulfill people's dreams as a mission from a business standpoint?
We don't sell cars, we sell dreams. Therefore, when a customer is approaching, he has uncompromising expectation about our brand. We don't speak about performances, we don't speak about speed, we don't speak about acceleration, we speak about driving emotion. But driving emotion is something that is relative, is depending on you, on me. You know, that driving emotion can be on a racetrack with our professional drivers, or can be with a convertible car on a seaside road. There are different driving emotion. But to sell driving emotion, you need to know the customer in front of you. So the knowledge of the customer allows us to provide a tailored experience to our customer. And this is extremely important for us.
So I'm going to pick up on customer insight and intelligence, because that's obviously part of our joint project. When you think about what you need to pay attention to, the signals that you look for with your customers in the experience economy, what do you need to pay attention to about your customers?
The consistency of the messages. This is extremely important. As we have a corporate identity, and everywhere in the world you recognize a Ferrari dealership, it's extremely important for us that any single representative of Ferrari worldwide and any single dealership can face the customer and can approach the customer in the same way. But to do that, again, you need to share information. You need to be able to recognize that customer, because our customers are moving more and more and more across the world. So they can buy today in Los Angeles and tomorrow in Rome. We need to approach them at the same way.
So your insights and customer intelligence has to be so deep and real time. Where is the customer at any one point? What are their buying behaviors? What other things might they be doing to be successful? So as you discover these wants and needs, how do you anticipate their future wants? And how are you thinking, how are you building capabilities to anticipate what they want in the future?
You know, we discussed about the information first. So for us, it's key. We have thousands and thousands of information, and we want to enrich even more information, because right now, speaking about the customer itself, or the vehicle he owns, is one part. But at the same time, we're looking forward to understand what the customer can do with us. Because when you buy a Ferrari, you become part of a family. As a part of a family, you need to experience as well the product. Through the experience, we are aiming to acquire more and more information that can be used to drive more business opportunities.
That's great. I have to say that we are incredibly proud to be working with you on this project, and your brand is amazing, and I look forward to seeing more what you're going to do with Oracle technology and your strategy. Salvatore, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much to you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I'm going to invite back up my colleague, Steve Miranda. Steve.
That was great. Thank you both. I was a little bit skeptical. I said, we shouldn't have Ferrari up. Everybody's been to the Ferrari dealership. They've seen our applications running there, right? You guys haven't been to Ferrari this week? Okay. Buy the Chronicle. After you buy the Chronicle, go to the Ferrari dealership. You can see the apps running in both. Okay. So we've shown you a little bit about the benefits of a full suite. You've heard from Hearst running our HR, ERP, financial, EPM applications. You've heard from Ferrari running our front office applications. Now let's drill into a little bit of the technology. And what I'm going to talk about in a minute is the benefits and what's visible from our customer base. So when we have these quarterly updates, you see hundreds of new features. You see new features of marketing. We talked about HR features, et cetera. There's a lot of features you don't see. And that is all the technology infrastructure that we get from being on the complete Oracle stack. Every innovation that comes out of the autonomous database makes it faster, makes it more secure, makes it more reliable by eliminating labor. All of that comes for free because you're on the Oracle SaaS applications. Because you have more robust infrastructure through our OCI investment, all that comes for free. So this notion that you used to have to deal with of technical debt in an on-premise application, in the SaaS applications, along with the updates that you see visibly, you have these invisible updates that happen behind the scenes, keeping you up-to-date technology. And at Oracle, you have what we believe very strongly, obviously, is the greatest technology team in the world, building that secure technology, reliable technology, fast technology. So benefit of things. But you do see some things visible through that technology innovation. But rather than talking about it, why don't I show you the technology innovation through a quick demonstration. So for this demonstration, what I'm going to do is I'm now opening my day. And so when I get up in the morning, usually my phone is on Do Not Disturb in the evenings, but I get up in the morning and one of the first things I do is I basically try to figure out what's going on in my day or what's going to happen in my day. Maybe that's too much information, but try to get up and figure out what's going on. I pick up my iPad or pick up my phone. But now with the SaaS applications, I can get that proactively or reactively sent to me. And I get it in a summarized fashion. So let me just go ahead and start. What is my daily briefing? User error. What is my daily briefing? Okay, so I get my daily briefing. In this case, it's a summary of what I need to do today. It's my BI system for my fully integrated Oracle suite. And what I have here is there's some insights into my business, actually. So our business of SaaS applications. And we have the 20% of our existing application customers have a high potential for more purchase. But we also have that because of higher attrition in LAD, that we're going to be short of that conversion ratio. So in other words, our sales system integrated with our HR system and our financial system shows us not only are we progressing well, we have opportunities, but combined with our HR system, we show we actually have a problem to deal with, okay? So not the greatest start to my morning, we got a big opportunity, but we got a problem to deal with, okay. What do you recommend? So now we're changing from basically a input and react system into a push system with recommendations on how to react to that. And in this case, is recommending a hiring plan for me for Latin America to try to offset that attrition and take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of us going forward. Okay, but I've got to get ready to get to work. I've got to drive into work. I've got my recommendation for the day. It doesn't sound like something I want to execute just right off the cuff or just like, actually, let me think about it a little bit. Let me run some scenarios and figure it out. So I'm going to drive into work. I go into work, and at my same desktop, what I then will see is the identical view with a little bit more detail. So here I'm presented with, on the left, the opportunity screen, which has, based on represented the size of the circles, where the opportunities are, how big the opportunities are, where we've won, and what is still open. And on the right-hand of the screen, I see exactly a combination of HR, finance, and sales automation, which is telling me if I take an action, what is the predictions as far as how will that affect my pipeline, how will it affect my execution. And in particular, it's recommended to me a hiring plan, which was on my daily briefing. But me being me and not really trusting a system, I want to play around with it. So it says here what we ought to do is hire people with a mix of experience between new hires and people with over 7 years experience, and that will get us to where we want to be. Well, I don't know if that's going to work. So I think we should just hire all new people. Let's get people who understand SaaS, native digital people. Let's hire a lot of people without any experience. So I move that over there, and what I find is actually that's not going to do it. The curve that's going to bring me back to projected profitability flattens off. We're not going to execute as well. The system's predicted based on actual execution of people with that similar profile. If I hire all inexperienced people, not going to be the best outcome. Okay, I'm not going to go with that. Let's swing the pendulum the other way. Let's hire all experienced people. That's clearly the way to go. And you notice there, that's not going to work either. Because if I hire all experienced people, actually, we may have some more deals in the pipe, but I'm going to be paying a lot more for those experienced people than for more junior people, and that's also not going to optimize my profitability. So I'm going to go in between. Now, I think that slightly more experience will be good in our business. We need people who can talk to customers, deal with real business problems. I'm going to go ahead and go with that hiring plan, but then I also need to execute it. So in this case, I want to share that hiring plan of execution. I'm going to share it with. I'm going to go with, I don't think I should send it to Larry just yet. He'll be here tomorrow. I'm going to send it to Luis, who runs Latin America. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with Luis so he can execute the plan. So I've done voice, digital assistant, CRM, HCM, finance combined on, by the way, a brand new UI, which we'll showcase in a minute, to give you business recommendations and business executions. I'm going to go ahead and share that, and that's off and running. Okay. But again, that's me talking. Let's talk really about how our technology gets used in the real world, and in this case, towards quite a powerful mission. So it's now my pleasure to welcome on stage CJ Lang and Deborah Ambro-Crandell from the Institute of the Blind and Visually Impaired, or IBVI, to talk about their mission and their use of Oracle technology. Please welcome them on stage, and we'll start with a video about IBVI.
I love a challenge. I always have, even before I lost my sight. I lead a team of 12 people here at IBVI. Nearly all of us are blind or visually impaired. I'm sure most people think, what would I do if I were faced with not being able to see? I couldn't do it. I say that's absolutely not true.
At IBVI, we are in pursuit of what appear to be out of reach, a workspace where there are no boundaries imposed on our employees' abilities. Oracle Cloud application has transformed the way that we empower employees here at IBVI.
I think that a lot of us don't recognize that the human animal is fierce and strong, and we truly can overcome anything that gets thrown our way.
Okay. Here's your seat here.
Great, thank you very much. So CJ and Deborah, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and about your mission, really, at IBVI?
Absolutely. I'm president and CEO of IBVI, and we have an amazing mission that we are fighting for every day, and we do a lot of work that requires people that are blind, and the idea behind it is that we can make a lot of products and provide a lot of services to our customers, and it all revolves around tools and technology for our people that are blind.
And I am Deborah Ambro-Crandell. I am the Director of Customer Success, and I lead a team of 12 folks who are primarily all blind or visually impaired.
And how does IBVI go about helping the blind and visually impaired population?
Well, there's opportunities for a lot of different job roles at our organization. And again, you know, it used to be that we only had opportunities for people who are blind, either in manufacturing or assembly work. But with the addition of technology that can better make it more accessible for our people, we now have opened up opportunities for into finance, into customer service, into purchasing, and there's no limit in when you look at the opportunities in the future.
Now, one of my favorite parts of your story and your organization, though a nonprofit, there's market challenges, and because really the more successful you can be and more efficient, the actually more people you can have employed, blind and visually impaired, the better service you can do to the community as well. So can you tell us a little bit about the market challenges or competitive challenges, if you will, or what you face to accomplish the mission?
Yes, absolutely. I guess one of the things that we faced with every day is that, you know, we definitely compete with other manufacturers, most of which do not have people that have disabilities within the, you know, the employee pool. But what the opportunity there is that we look at our opportunity to basically compete on price and also quality, and those are things that we cannot, you know, take lightly because we're going to be, you know, looked at as if, you know, there was, you know, people that were sighted, you know, versus, you know, those that are not. And so for us, we have to rely on technology to take us to that next level and also provide accessibility, you know, to the data and to the business systems themselves.
Okay. So to help with that, you turn to Oracle. Obviously, you're here, we're one of your technology partners. How's that been? What is that like? Can you give the audience a flavor for what you're using and overall experience?
Yes, now definitely. I think the biggest thing that we've really gained is the ability to actually have our people that are blind into positions, and in the past there would be a requirement for someone who's sighted to have oversight of a different area or maybe a department. And with Oracle applications now that we're using, that the requirement's not there. And it's opened up a lot of positions, even in management, for people that are blind.
Yeah, just really equaling it out. And Deborah, so let's talk about your experience as a blind employee, and what has IBVI empowered you to do personally?
So obviously, I was not born blind. I started to lose my sight when I was 16, and I had intended to be a fashion journalist. I wanted to go to FIT in New York, and when I found out that I wasn't going to be able to see, it kind of took me through 10 years of not knowing what I was going to do with my life. So I went to college eventually and kind of fell into a different Ability One agency. That's a government program that we work under. And I kind of maxed out my role there. So at a national conference, I met CJ and the IBVI team, and I moved to Milwaukee to be a manager of a customer service group. And IBVI has been a great asset to me professionally. They've really kind of let me be a leader to our blind people, and I've kind of grown my team and grown my position, and I'm now a business unit leader. Planning on someday taking over this gentleman's job as CEO.
Good segue to the next question. So both you and CJ talked about barriers that existed before, barriers. Right. But what barriers still exist, and what more can technology providers like Oracle and others in the audience, we have a lot of partners, audience, do to help continue to remove those barriers?
You know, there's been a lot of talk. Larry spoke about autonomous vehicles. I would say probably the #1 barrier to employment for people who are blind is transportation. The working age blind population has an unemployment rate of 70%, which is staggering, I think, to everyone. And transportation can really, kind of keep a blind person on disability or not seeing what the world has to offer them. So to me, cloud computing in general is a huge asset. If people can work at home, they can maybe start dipping their toes into what it is to be an employee, and then maybe go on and pursue educational opportunities. And probably the second biggest barrier to employment for people who are blind is training and development. A lot of times we don't know what different businesses are looking for. So what's really kind of cool is with Oracle and with my team, change is difficult for anyone, and my team is, no different than anyone else. And I keep trying to stress that learning this new technology is going to open up opportunities for them to eventually grow in our company or go find a job somewhere else. And my challenge to the audience is to kind of rethink your hiring practices. And sometimes you look at someone who's blind and you kind of scratch your head, how are they going to use a computer? But they do every day, all day. There's a lot of great technology out there.
That's fantastic. And then just to loop back, CJ, the Oracle technology, you guys are now end-to-end Oracle application SaaS. Finance.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and it's really been amazing. There's been some outstanding success stories that we've been able to create. And just as an example, we had a new independent role that was created using cloud applications. Employee named Sandra Teague Martin, who used to work in a real estate office, and then when she lost her sight, she didn't know if she was going to get opportunities to do what she used to do. And through the use of Oracle Cloud Applications now, she is definitely in an independent role, and she's able to use the cloud applications to enter and track orders. And not only has it been very uplifting career building for her, but it has created a whole new area of our organization that we can, highlight positions for the blind for the future. And so I think that's the biggest thing. And just a note to anyone in the room here, there's a segment out there, blind professionals, and if you can give them access to the data and to the business systems, there's a huge market out there, a big pool of people that that are not necessarily being looked at And when you consider how one of our biggest challenges is getting new employees, we're all competing for new people, and that's a segment that's being largely overlooked.
Okay. Deborah, CJ, I have to tell you, it's no greater satisfaction for me anyway when we see customers actually using our software we build. But this is probably the proudest story of people using our software. We're just grateful to be just a small part of what you do. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Deborah?
So we just had the current and future CEO of IBVI on stage. So now let me talk about, I talked about some of the baseline technologies, the infrastructure, how we fight the technical debt, keep you more secure, keep it more faster and more reliable. I also talked about some of the, that you would surface in some of the areas, but now let me tell you how it all comes together. So when I say all comes together, completeness of suite, additive data, technology. And this is really our using AI or machine learning to transform the way the applications work and transform them from applications that take and validate your data into applications that recommend best action or automate that best action approach. And so what we are doing at Oracle on our SaaS application is combining your data, available third-party data, having then machine learning applied to derive insights or recommendations, prioritize those insights, measure the effectiveness of those insights based on what you do, and then improve that algorithm going forward. And now, the typical approach to AI has a couple things that we frankly disagree with, or some AI myths. The first is that it's got to be build it yourself. I talked to lots of customers, hey, give me an API going forward. Actually, we feel very strongly that we can incrementally improve your applications and add brand new feature functions across applications by building AI. And I'll get into a couple examples in a moment, and I'll tell you how input from customers is helping us improve that along the way. Next is that it's some magic. This is why I frankly prefer, though, at a marketing conference like this, you've got to use the term AI. It's machine learning. These are really practical ways to take data, take algorithms, give recommendations, improve the way you do business in a very pragmatic, very effective way. AI doesn't need people. You'll notice I keep on using the words give recommendations, and you'll also notice that as much as we talked about autonomous technology, we are not talking about autonomous applications. We are machine learning driven applications. You need people who make decisions going forward on how you run your business most effectively. And our machine learning helps you become more efficient, helps you realize data insights you maybe didn't do before, but ultimately you have people still driving those organizations, driving those business decisions. The more data, the better. It is the right data at the right time in the right context. And that you only need data models to succeed. Actually, we feel very strongly you need data as input, you need algorithms that surface those recommendations, you need applications that then measure the results of those applications, and then you need results. And as I promised last year, we are building AI or ML features everywhere. We've infused it through our sales applications, through account prioritizations, through account enrichment, through signaling alerts, to win probability scoring. We, of course, for years have had it in marketing applications. We've taken that to the next level in marketing. We have supply chain applications around predictive demand, around anomaly detection. We've added a host of capabilities within financials for audit capabilities, payment optimizations, or if you will, cash management optimization. Added a bunch in HR as far as next best candidate or best fit candidate, help you faster fill vacancies, predictive of employee attrition, and predictive of employee performance. So literally every step of the way, adding machine learning into all of your transactions to make them much more effective. And by deploying this in our SaaS applications, we've had millions of real-world transactions through our AI predictions. What this allows us to do is measure the effectiveness of them, tune the algorithms specific to you, and then improve upon those algorithms going forward. So that, as I promised last year, not only will ML be infused everywhere, it's going to make the applications better and better and better just by using it. Another flavor of AI applications comes through our use of digital assistants, or some of you may call them bots, or some of you may call them conversational UI. And so with our SaaS applications, we've introduced a single digital assistant with multiple skills. So you could have a digital assistant that provides directory services as far as who's somebody's email address or phone number or where do they sit. You have the same digital assistant which has a different skill, which can do HR transactions or execute an expense report via bot or update your sales forecast via bot. So digital assistants, whether it be through SMS, whether it be through your HTML UI, whether it be through Slack, or really any third-party voice or other UI interface, have our bot support a digital assistant interaction. And now, with 19D of the SaaS applications, every HR transaction can be initiated and most can be completed within the context of a digital assistant. So all HR transactions, you can go to a conversational UI. What is Hillel Cooperman's phone number? What is his email address? Who is his manager? Who is on his team? How many years of experience does he have? Or self-service transactions, I can ask, what's my vacation balance? Is it a holiday on October 4th in the UK? Because I want to travel there. And by deploying these applications, we've started to learn fascinating input from our customers. Because what we did, the first bot or digital assistant we deployed was one at Oracle. And it was a pretty simple concept. We took the directory service, so we have an HTML screen at Oracle that says, here's your employee directory. And we thought, great, let's make that a bot. So now I can just be on my text, I can SMS, I can do everything I used to do in the directory service. Who somebody is, what their email, phone number, their team, et cetera. Fascinating things started to happen. People started asking it other questions. Like, is it a holiday? Like my vacation balance. People are so attuned now in your everyday lives to Siri and Alexa and Google and the like of digital assistants answering questions that though we thought we were building a directory skill, people were using it for everything. And that was fantastic input to us, because then we took all of that data that was coming in, this is what people do, and we started adding feature functions real time to the bot going forward, and we added it as just new skills, new skills. So now you have a conversational UI for really a one-stop shop to execute not only a directory service, but a whole host of questions that are coming. And as we've deployed this to more and more customers, we're getting more and more ideas and adding it very, very quickly. So when you combine complete set of applications, large set of customers successful on these applications, solid technology and machine learning, the digital assistant and the conversational UI is just going to get better and better and better. But again, enough of me talking about it. Now let's hear a real-world example of a company who's really starting to use this, is going to be on the cutting edge of adopting this type of technology. It's my pleasure to introduce Kelly Romack. Kelly is the VP of Digital HR and Strategy Planning at Hilton. And let's see a small video to give you some background on Hilton.
Mr. Conrad Hilton.
At Hilton, our last 100 years has given you the chance to experience a century of warm greetings and personal service. Every year, we pioneer not just where you travel, but how. Every week, we open doors to new parts of the world. Every day, a new century begins.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, happy to be here.
Obviously, everybody knows Hilton, I'm sure, and very popular brand. But tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit of maybe the context of Hilton, that in the context of your role, employees, and things like that, that the audience may not be as familiar with.
You bet. So I run our HR technology stack as well as our services, and I also handle our talent brand for in the social media area. My background is IT. So I built our Honors Award-winning app, our digital key. So hopefully some of you are staying at one of our hotels and have used it to get in your room. I worked on lots of PMO, governance, IT methodology, and then our CHRO said, Kelly, you want to come over to HR and make it digital? And so I said, I'm up for the challenge, and moved over and started working with our team members at our 5,900 hotels across the world in 114 countries with 17 brands. We open almost a hotel a day. And I haven't looked back since. It's been amazing, and we've had so much opportunity to innovate.
5,900 hotels, and that's hundreds of thousands of employees then.
Absolutely. We have 170,000 team members who work directly for Hilton, and aggregately, if you look at our franchise population, which we consider them team members as well, it's 410,000 team members.
410,000, okay. So reasonably small company looking at HR, so okay. So lots of change taking place in your industry. You mentioned digital keys and a whole bunch of things where technology and non-technology affects it. Maybe can you tell us the competitive market pressures that you face at Hilton today?
Oh, you bet. I mean, most of you are travelers, and thank you for your business, and hopefully your honors members as well. Yes, it's incredibly competitive out there, and technology is the forefront of almost everything that we do. Innovation is in our DNA, and it's really what we make sure we're focused on. Essentially, we want to make sure that we're providing amazing technology experiences for our guests. And when I came over, we worked with our CHRO and our technology team. We also want to provide that technology for our team members as well. Team members should have just as good of technology as our customers and our guests do, so that they can serve our guests better. We're in a business of people serving people.
Yeah, you need happy team members, you need happy employees. Now, those 400 plus thousand team members, I want to get this right. You were in the top 100 best places to work. In fact, you recently won an award, the #1 best place to work.
In the United States, yes.
In the United States. So tell us a little bit about that and how that came about, and maybe educate the audience. With that many employees, that's quite an award.
Absolutely. So we're #1 in the US and we're #2 in the world. We're incredibly proud of the effort, and we worked very hard, and some of this great technology has helped us get there, so we're excited about that. Our CEO has a wonderful vision and mission, and about our culture is amazing at Hilton. It's very exciting. We have lots of learning and development opportunities for our team members. It's incredibly important. We make sure they're skilled, have knowledge and all the tools that they need, and we've really gotten excited about virtual reality.
Okay.
Yes, so working through a couple of things at our hotels, having our team members literally the virtual reality experience, you put on the goggles, and working through and understanding some of our connected room technology and functionality, so they don't have to go to a demo room, right? They can work it in their workspace. Or even corporate team members learning how to set a place setting or wash dishes. I personally tried it myself. I broke my first 3 place settings. But I got better at it as we went forward.
Yeah, I might need that place setting video myself.
Yes.
Maybe I'm a little slow. I may need it a couple times, but okay. So you talked earlier about the mobile and the easy access. You're in the midst of implementing digital assistant, what I just talked about and what I just demoed a little bit, to help with employee self-service. Can you tell us what that's like and what your expectations, what do you envision, your ideas on what is it going to be like when you have the digital assistant fully formed?
So we're super excited about it. It's in our development environment right now. We have, what we did is we took our services team and we looked at the questions that, and I loved your AI overview, right? Because it's like things that are repeatable, that we can quantify, that we can execute against technology. Right. So we looked at our top most requested items. And about 60% of them are very repetitive. So we took those and we worked with the digital assistant technology, customized all of the language and the actions to the Hilton, right? Our Hilton business process flow. And we've got that in a development environment right now, and we're really excited. I mean, team members want a very fast response, right? No one wants to wait. Right. And they want to be able to, know what their paycheck is, understand their PTO balance, schedule a PTO, right?
Yeah, you do everything via your phone these days. You need your enterprise system on the phone.
Absolutely, and mobile is key. It is our #1 priority with working with Oracle. 95% of our team members do not sit at a desk. They run around the hotel serving our guests, right? Whether it be room attendants or working in a restaurant. So everything is on the go, on your phone, bring your own device.
Yeah, well, 95% is only 380,000, so okay. So you talked about mobile, you talked about the competitive pressures. What's next? What you give us great input throughout. What's next for you?
Well, I brought a list of enhancements.
Oh, okay, great.
Just kidding. That's later for Chris Leone if he's in the audience. So we're gonna talk through some of those things for sure. So we're excited to work with Oracle. There's all kinds of things that we think we can do. We want to continue to push the boundary on mobile, streamline and simplified processes. We're looking forward to Recruiting Cloud coming out, and I think at some point in time we should be able to operate everything in HCM with our voice.
Perfect. Now, we talked a little bit beforehand, and I try to communicate to customers a lot. Oracle's transforming. We're really becoming a service company. SaaS is really getting us at the forefront of our customer implementations. maybe give the audience a flavor for how you interact with our development team. You mentioned Chris's name. You've got the whole Rolodex of our, Rolodex is so too old now. You have a whole smartphone of my entire team, I think. So what's it like working with Oracle development now?
You know, I very much enjoy it. We're able to co-development. Again, I'm a technology background, so we look at code. We do real-time screen shares. We share files back and forth. You know, I like the way we can co-collaborate and work on the product to make it better, and ultimately it makes it better for all your customers, and so it benefits everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Kelly.
Yes,
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
So that was a good way to segue to the next talk. I talked about the completeness of the Oracle Suite. I talked about the advantage of the technology, the real push for machine learning. But now here is, I said at the beginning, we very much try to focus on customer stories. And this is really the heart of it. The number one priority, while it's cool new features, our number one priority by far is success for our customers. And we're doing that through consistency of delivery, quarterly updates, improving the technology underneath, reliability, but frankly, through a lot of listening to our customers, working with Hilton through digital assistants, working with Hearst on how you roll things out and how you do 360 different businesses via M&A and consolidate and grab some efficiencies, working end-to-end on how the technology applies for IBVI, showing, as all of you will soon see at your Ferrari dealership, how you have a first-class customer experience through a superior brand like Ferrari, listening to our customers and prioritizing what they say is the key. And I talked before, especially with IBVI, this is my favorite part. We now have, over the last several years, I've talked about how we're building a cloud suite, how we've completed a cloud suite, how we've supplemented a cloud suite. Now the key message for I want all of you to take away is we are extremely proud of our focus on our successful customers in the cloud. And whether it's financials with literally a who's who across different industries of some of the best organizations in the world, or our HCM logos, which again, a who's who across multiple industries, the largest organizations in the world like Hilton, and then some smaller organizations in the world, or our CX. Rob talked about the brands in CX, both our customers who've moved from our traditional Siebel base, customers who've moved from Salesforce.com to the Oracle Cloud, and customers who've moved from other third-party systems to the Oracle Cloud. And if you look at these slides very carefully, you'll start to see that there's some repeats, because you have organizations like IBVI who have multiple parts of the suite, or you have organizations like Hearst who started in financials, added HR, added payroll, and are continuing to add. So we're extremely proud of our customers and our customers first, and now customers with heavy in supply chain manufacturing. The core of their manufacturing business, not just back office financials, not just back office HR, but running their day-to-day manufacturing business, mission critical applications at scale across a number of different industries in manufacturing. So we're extremely thankful and extremely proud of our customer base, and hopefully you got that captured a little bit today. But I said at the beginning, big focus on the customers, but we're still developers, and we do think we have some cool stuff coming.